everybody, Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Today, brand new year, brand new list, brand new thing. Of course, I went over the top books that I got in 2025, and of course, I did the most expensive books and yada yada, yada yada, as they say. Well, today is really exciting. Woo! Can you feel the anticipation? Today, I am going to reveal the list of the top 10 books I would like to buy in 2026. Having been able to get 6 of the 10 books I wanted for 2025 was a big deal. So I'm only carrying over a couple books from last year because others have actually reached up and got me that I want more. Now, granted, this list, of course, is a little DC centric. I'm so shocked, by this that, I had to sit down and think, oh my God, how can you only love DC so much? But there are a couple Marvel books on this list, and when you see the Marvels that I've put on this list, you won't be surprised. It's who I am at heart, right? I'm going to give this list backwards. I'm going to go from number 10 to number 1. Generally speaking, I don't do that sort of thing. I don't usually number anything in any particular order for the simple fact that I'm not one to play favorites necessarily. So therefore, if I want it, I get it. It's kind of a bad habit I have. But in this case, I did take the time to put them in order. And I'm going to explain what the book is and why I want it. Issue number 10 I want is Superboy 90. This was on last year's list. I didn't get it. And this is the book where Pete Ross discovers that Superboy is Clark Kent. This is such a big part of the mythos from that moment on. I did a video not long back about John Ross where he knew about Superman's secret identity, and Pete Ross revealed to Clark that he knew finally during that period. But when he was a kid, Pete managed to help Clark without Clark knowing how, whenever Superboy needed to go into action, he was able to help Clark get away. So he was a good egg, and this was the reason, by the way, he was made a reserve member of the Legion of Superheroes. They knew it, Clark didn't. Number 9. Action Comics 267. Not only is this the third appearance ever of the Legion of Superheroes, but this is the first time Supergirl meets the Legion, and it is the first appearance of Chameleon Boy, Colossal Boy, and Invisible Kid. They are the first appearance. They are 3 major members of the Legion, particularly Chameleon Boy. He gets used a lot, and Invisible Kid becomes one of the most effective members during the leaders during the Adventure Comics run. Book number 8, and this is the first Marvel on the list, is Avengers 141. And I want that because that's the first time Patsy Walker becomes Hellcat. Patsy Walker is a character I've liked for a long time. Big Defenders fan, big Son of Satan fan. Her husband for a time in the comics. They do get divorced later on. I don't really cover that much because I don't have many post-divorce. I do have a book where Patsy Walker is dating Tony Stark. However, that's neither here nor there. I want this book because it's the first appearance of her as Hellcat, and I'm a big fan of Hellcat. Always have been. And you know something, when I was a kid, I really liked Hellcat, and no clue she had a modeling career in comics before that. And so that, of course, piques my interest as well. Number 7, Marvel Team Up 95. That is the first Bobby Morris as Mockingbird. Bobby Morris has some appearances before that as Bobby Morris, but we don't see that as a lot of people don't use those books as books to get. And I myself am not either. I'm going to look at Marvel Team Up 95 and I want it because it's such a cool looking book. Mockingbird is such a great character. I really liked her on TV when she was played by Adrienne Palicki, I believe that's the name, on camera during Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But I do like the character in the comic books. I always thought she was fun in the event as Clint's wife. That was my introduction to Mockingbird that was in the Avengers. She had already married Cliff. It was years later that I read the story, the Hawkeye miniseries where they get married. So, Mockingbird, another nice Marvel book there. The rest of them are all DC. They're all big DC, at least compared to what I've gotten before. They're smaller, but they're big DC. They're hard to get. Number 6 is Adventure Comics 282. This is the first appearance of Tom Calloway, known as Starboy, in comics. Tom is a big deal because not only was he a Legion of Superhero member, but later in the post-crisis era, just before Infinite Crisis, and they went to the New 52, Tom was in the present, and he was a member of the Justice Society of America for a while. And that, to me, increased his visibility and his desirability as a character. Always did like Starboy. He was one of the they call him the Bad Luck Legionnaire, just as bad as Lightning Lad, because he killed somebody and da 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 da. But he managed to snag a girl like Dream Girl, so he's got to have some good points. So that's why that's on the list. I'm a big Starboy fan. Number 5. Number 5 is Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 70. And I'm sure everybody out there has seen this and knows what it is. It is the first appearance of Superman as a cat. I'm joking. It's the first appearance of the Silver Age, in the Silver Age of Catwoman, and she's in a Lois Lane book of all places. This one is one that I almost got last year, but Allan convinced me that wasn't a good deal, so I didn't end up buying it at the time. So this will be on my list for this year. Hopefully I can find a better deal. Going back to the Pete Ross thing, number 4 is Superboy 86, which is his first appearance. That's higher on my list because it's a first appearance. And when I have read the story, and when Superboy meets Pete Ross, he finally feels there's a guy I can be a friend with. And that was a big deal. And their friendship got better when Ross discovered that Clark was Superboy. Although Clark doesn't know why, but their friendship got stronger. So, to me, first appearance of Pete Ross, Superboy 86, is something that I'm going to look for. Number 3 on the list is Superboy 98, which is the first appearance of Ultra Boy. This is a fun story. This is a big Legion story. And yes, I realize that this list is going to end up looking Legion-centric. Keep in mind, I've got the vast majority of the Supergirl books I've wanted over the years. So, a couple of these do have to do with Supergirl. But a couple of them don't. First Ultra Boy is one of them. I really want this book. It not only introduces Ultra Boy as a member of the Legion in his first appearance, but it's the first appearance of a guy by the name of Marla, who is, you finally learn, has the adult liaison for the Legion. Somebody who can finally make sure that the kids are okay while they're training and such and such and such, and he evaluates their personalities, and he gets more over the years. You learn more. So it's his first appearance as well, and he, more than Ultra Boy, is the reason why Pete Ross ends up getting to go visit the Legion, because Ultra Boy reads his diary and finds out he knows about Clark. So that's a big, another big deal. We're down to the last 2, and the last 2 involve both Supergirl and the Legion. Okay, the first, sorry, only one involves Supergirl. It's number 2 is Adventure Comics 267, And I want this one because it's the second appearance ever of the Legion of Superheroes. It's just the original three and Superboy. But, it what amazes me is it's 20 books after the first appearance, which means that we went a year and 2/3 without having a Legion appearance. And in that entire time, the letters were nonstop to DC. Hey, can we see this Legion again? Hey, we want to know more about this Legion. So they finally made a second story. And what was surprising about it was that they came back and that the story took place in the 20th century. So that kept things to a, you know, by the way, that Action Comics 267 and number 9, note that the issue numbers are the same, and my number 9 position is only the third appearance ever of the Legion as well. Now, for my number 1 book. This was on my list last year, still on my list this year, and I'm going to be hoping to get it before the end of the year. And that is Action Comics 276. This is the issue where Supergirl finally gets to join the Legion. But more importantly, it is also the first appearance of a bunch of characters. Bouncing Boy, Sun Boy, Brainiac 5, Phantom Girl, Triplicate Girl. This is a big book. I'm really looking forward to getting this one. That is why it's my number 1 for this list. If you liked what I did today, please like, comment, and subscribe below. I particularly would like to know if there are any books you think that you of that list that you would also like to get. And or if you think that I'm crazy for wanting to get, that's cool too. I really want to spend this year and concentrate my collections better. I bought too much stuff that was all over the place the last 2 years. It's particularly because of the channel that I feel that I need to sit back and stop spending so much on various things and concentrating on my list for the year. So that is my goal for this year, is to try and get at least half of this list, if not all of them. Please like, comment, subscribe below. Thank you very much for joining me today. My name is Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye, everybody.